For more content like this, log on to gibbopresents.com.
It's Gibbo, and right now I'm joined by two members of a progressive reggae group who on August the 25th will release their fourth studio album, Kingston Story, Come From Far. Here to discuss the project and much more, it is New Kingston. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is Courtney, drummer from New Kingston.
Yeah, man, this is Tahir, the keyboard player from New Kingston. Bless up, all is well.
As we speak today, you have recently returned from a trip to Europe. You're only days away from the release of your fourth album, and you have tour dates in America and Europe from the end of the month until midway through November. How often do you find yourselves thinking or saying, "Look how far we've come"?
That's funny because I don't know if we were saying that before the song came about. We probably were, you know. It was inside of us all the time, but since we coined it now, it's been said like all the time. Like I hear people in the street saying it now randomly, you know. So it's really fitting because it works for everybody, you know. Everybody can say it. You can say it. I can say it. My mom can say it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has come from far.
One of the things that really struck me about the album's title track, Come From Far, is that you don't just say, "Look how far we've come," but you also say, "Look how far we have to go." Is this just indicative of your mindset? Are you always just striving to reach the next level?
I mean, every day in life, it's just you wake up, it's a new day. It's a new journey, it's a new task. You know, New Kingston, like you said, we just came back from Europe. You know, it's been something we've been looking forward to for a long time, just, you know, spreading our music wherever it could go. You know, we have conscious, positive music that it needs to be heard. You know, we love getting it heard. So it's like we could even reflect on last week where we just are. Right now, we're here in Brooklyn. Right now, we were in Europe last week. So it's just a blessing. And, you know, we still know there's still a mission with our music. There's still a mission with our purpose, what we have to do. So yeah, we reflect on the good times, like look how far we came. You know, we came a long way. We came from our pops pretty much taking us off the street and handing us instruments and saying, yo, this is a better solution for life right here. And he gave us what he knows. So for us to even look back at that time, you know, to see where we are now, how it manifested, it's like, it's crazy, you know, it's a blessing right now. So, and look how far we have to go. Still a long road ahead, you know?
So when you were young, did your father, Courtney Sr., have to really encourage you and push you to practice? Were you more interested with video games or playing basketball like regular kids?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. When we were younger, me and Courtney actually, we bought a PSP, like a PlayStation handheld game, right? And my father looked at us. He said, yo, why y'all spend so much money on this? Go buy a laptop. So he said, yo, sell back the PSP and I'll put the extra money to buy you a laptop. You can play games on your laptop if you want. But, you know, that was the beginning of opening us up to the world that the laptop creates for you, you know, in terms of controlling your own businesses and just keeping everything organized, you know. So he definitely encouraged us in a lot of ways to continue on the path that we are on now. You know, he started us, you know, everything we are today has come from him, you know, straightforward.
And your father has been involved in the music scene for a long time prior to the formation of New Kingston. Can you detail his work and achievements prior to the group beginning?
So much. I mean, if I was to list the artists that he worked with, produced for, and stuff like that, you know, the list would be endless. You know, he was involved with the early days of Shaggy when Shaggy was just on the rise up. You know, he did a lot of work with Sugar Minott. He did a lot of work with Sister Carol, Dennis Brown. Man, this guy, he's worked for everybody. You know, I wish he was here to just tell you himself, but the list is long. And there'll be a documentary or something about it one day. Just give it, yeah, you know.
It's funny, we look over time and when you understand the reggae culture, even Jamaican culture, then you understand how intricate our pops is to just Kingston, Jamaica on a whole. You know, that's kind of the sense of our name to New Kingston. You know, we live here in New York, you know, but our foundation is Kingston, Jamaica. So essentially we are the new Kingston. We are the new Kingston sound, you know, a new generation of our reggae music. That's why people call it progressive, because we live in the progressive city, New York, and we have those influences as well in our music.
Kingston Story, Come From Far. Talk me through the process of putting this album together. Where was it recorded? How long did it take in total to complete?
We recorded most of it in home, in our home studio in Kingston Studios. The process is funny, man, because music, I feel like we're always creating music, so it's hard to really pinpoint a time frame. But if I had to, it'd be like about a year. You know, we worked with our uncle pretty much, Fabian Cook, who helped us like round everything up after we created all the music and stuff like that. And, you know, he took his time in, you know, detailing everything, because this project it's a different attention to detail on this project. You know, we made sure we fine tuned as much as possible, because nothing's perfect, you know, but we took our time with it and really crafted the best music we could possibly make.
I'm particularly interested in this next question due to the fact you are a group, not a solo act. What's the song creation process like for you? Do you always start with the same element, like a theme or a hook, a melody, or does it vary from song to song?
It never goes like that, man. Because, like, even this album, like, we knew we wanted to make a different project, like a totally different project. And like even the people that love our music, it's crazy that the music they gravitate to is the music that we produce. Because we'll have tracks from like Dub Inc. from Europe, you know, they sent us a track for our old album. We have a production, older album.
Not old.
We have a production from Sydney Mills from Steel Pulse on our Kingston City album. So, and this album, we just wanted to take control of everything pretty much. So, like, right now, this process was just, we started it in May. We went to Cincinnati, Ohio. We just went in this random nightclub. It was so crazy. This guy, he let us use it. And we just was just like, Kutchy, yeah, big up Kutchy, one of the DJs that support New Kingston heavy out there, you know. We went there and we was just like, yo, let's just vibe on a bunch of music. Like, let's just create whatever we could make right now. No judgment. Whoever comes with a bass line, come with it. You come with a drum pattern, come with it. And then we'll all follow suit, you know, as musicians, what we are. Because that's what we were first. We were musicians. You know, our pops, he had us grow up on Earth, Wind, and Fire. Those are the songs we had to play from jump. You know, it wasn't straight Bob Marley or Dennis Brown. It was the Whispers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, a bunch of just like eclectic music, well-rounded. And then when it was time to get to the one drop, you know, it was kind of in us already because of our pops, what we seen through him. But our creation process, it's unorthodox because anybody could come with anything. We're all members of New Kingston, you know. It's not a solo act like you were saying. So we all have input, you know, and it's fun.
Pressure Bus Pipe is the only featured artist on the project. How long have you known him for, and why did he get this honor?
We've known Pressure for probably like over 10 years now, you know. He's one of those artists that his support for New Kingston never ended, you know. Even if we went years without speaking, I'm sure he still had the best intentions for us in mind. You know, he always spoke positively about New Kingston. So this was just a time where we had a track, you know, Starlight, and it was so fitting for him, you know, like obviously Love and Affection, one of his big tunes in my opinion, you know, so favorite for me, you know, so we wanted to kind of get a little vibe of that captured on our album, and, you know, Starlight was created, you know.
Have you shot or are you going to shoot videos for any of the tracks on the album?
Yeah, we actually shot a video and we did a few like promo videos, but we're hoping to also shoot Starlight, you know. Pressure Bus Pipe, he's on the East Coast with us over here, so that's gonna be an easy connection, but we're hoping the more like island vibe fit the Starlight vibe, because that song Starlight is in the same realm of Love and Affection. That's why it's the only feature, because, you know, sometimes people do features just because they know somebody, you know what I'm saying? But this feature was fitting because, to me, in his vein, even of his vein of singing, it matched the track perfect. And it's like, that's what we wanted to mastermind on this album. Everything fits.
Makes sense.
You know?
You have a well-designed website. You're very active on social media. The album has been very well promoted so far. There's also multiple bundle deals available, and you're running a Come From Far sweepstakes. Are you very involved with this side of things, or do you leave it up to your label, Easy Star Records?
Nah, we're involved. You know, they have a lot of ideas too, which I love. You know, that's why teamwork makes the dream work. You know, but we're involved in everything, you know, everything. Because it's better when I feel like your fans, they feel that too when you're involved. They could know when your label posts something and you post it. And that's why you see us, we're always active. I love writing the fans back because I appreciate their input. I appreciate them taking the time out of their busy days just to acknowledge you. And we could do the same as artists, as people. We're just human beings blessed with the opportunity to do music. So I'm letting people know I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And these are why we create these package bundles, because we like to give more.
And the grand prize for the sweepstakes is a $100 shopping spree in Rough Trade in New York. Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. Come with the day the album comes out. Me, Tahir, my brother Steve, Pops, Courtney, Pantan, we all gonna be there. Demand them for us. Everybody gonna be there. If you in town in Brooklyn, Tri-State, come down to Rough Trade. We're not calling it an album signing. We're just calling it a hangout with New Kingston. You know, we like to get a sense of how people vibe. You know, we love the human connections, you know?
I'm not suggesting that Easy Star didn't know or understand you when you released Kingston City, your first album on the label, but has everything run a bit smoother and more efficiently this second time round, having had an opportunity to get to know each other a bit better and further establish the relationship?
Most definitely, man. I feel naturally, you know, everybody learns, you know, over time. And, you know, we released Kingston City 2 years ago now, I believe, 2.5 years ago. So, and within that time frame, we're always in constant communication with Easy Star, you know. So we've learned each other. We have a game plan, you know what I'm saying? And even the next album is going to be even better. It's going to be even smoother, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's how it is over time with anything. Any relationship over time, it should just get better, you know. So big up Easy Star all the time.
If I had to describe your music or sound to someone who wasn't familiar with you, I'm not sure who I would compare you to. It would have to be multiple groups, I think, not just one artist. Name them?
Yeah, please.
Put me on the spot like that.
Yes, because you about to put us on the spot, so there you go.
Who you say?
Well, I would certainly have to name reggae bands, because I would definitely put Morgan Heritage in there, probably.
Big up, mud.
But I would also have to say there's influence from other genres, and to be quite honest, I am not a geek and a nerd about other genres the same way I am about reggae, so I'm probably not best placed to name those other bands.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you, though, is do you make a conscious effort to differentiate yourself this way in terms of your sound, or is it just the way that things have developed over time?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I wouldn't. When we create music, we never ever tried to sound like anything. Like, it was never a thought like, yo, let's make a song like, you know, One Love, Bob Marley. You know, it's always been like whatever we want to do, because everybody's different, right? And I always think about like statistics or whatever like that, right? So I was born in Brooklyn. My brother Courtney was born in Delaware. My brother Steve was born in Jamaica, and my father is from Jamaica. We make our music in New York City, in Brooklyn. So that whole situation that we're under automatically makes our music unique, automatically. Like, there's nobody else like that specifically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, big up to Morgan Heritage, they're from Brooklyn too, but even so, still, you know, we're still different from them. You know, we live in a different part of Brooklyn than they live in. You know, we grew up in the basements going to dancehall clubs and stuff like that. We grew up completely on the reggae dancehall culture. You know what I'm saying? Like Bounty Killer and, you know, Louis Culture,
everybody,
whoever it is, you know, from them time, the 90s dance or early 2000s, stuff like that, you know, so that influences us differently. And then we get all the Caribbean cultures here too, the Haitians, the Guyanese, the Bajans, you know, the Grenadians, big up everybody, all the Caribbean cultures that make the melting pot of Brooklyn, the demographic that we live in. It makes our music different automatically.
You've supported a number of different acts on tour, and as we mentioned earlier, you're about to hit the road again. People clearly feel that you add something to their tours. Why do you think you've had these opportunities? Why do other acts want New Kingston on the road with them?
It's just a difference, you know. That's what I feel like it is, because to me it's like, even if when we have our tours and we have to choose like who's going to come out and open, you know, you might not want it to be exactly the same thing. You want that difference so people could have a wider show, you know, and that's always better when you have options with, okay, I'm gonna come here and I might get hip-hop and R&B and reggae. That's cool, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just, oh, all the bands are gonna sound exactly alike to the headliner, then you might be tired by the time you get to the headliner because you done heard the headliner already like 2-3 times already, you know what I'm saying? So I feel it's the difference that New Kingston we bring to the table, and I appreciate everybody who supports us and give us opportunities to put us in front of their people, you know, because that's another thing too, you know.
There are some very successful American reggae bands who don't have Jamaican or Caribbean roots, and of course there are also a lot of very successful Jamaican acts, but the fan bases are somewhat separate. Some people are popular with both, but I don't think anyone has completely captivated both audiences as of yet. Taking into account your Jamaican roots, the fact you're based in New York, and the exposure that you've gained from extensive touring, are you perfectly placed to be the first group to really become stars with both fan bases? And is this something that you've ever thought about?
Do you think so?
Well, I wouldn't be asking the question if I didn't think there was a chance.
You explained it all just now. I want to say exactly what you just said back, because I feel so. I feel like we can be that bridge to help bring all those communities together, because they should be together. You know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be any separation. And I feel like we could be the first of the kind to merge that. You know?
Your last album did very well sales-wise. I'm sure this one will do the same. Before we finish, is there anything else that you would like to mention that we haven't covered so far? Anyone that you'd like to big up?
I want to big up my brother Steve, the guitarist. You know, he's not here right now with us, but he'll be here in the next 2 days. You know, he's holding it down with his family. Big up Courtney Panton, our pops. He's outside running around right now. Like, this is crunch time for us, you know. So, but honestly, I just want to big up everybody out there supporting New Kingston. You know, that's the main purpose right now of us being here right now. We have a positive message that we'd love to just get to the world, let people hear this, you know. And that's really the message right there, you know. And bless up, stick to your goals, stick to your dreams, because that's another thing New Kingston we push. We've been consistent for years, you know. We've been doing music for years, and now we're like more finding our purpose in what we're doing in life and with music, and we understand the power of your voice, the power of your music, how it affects people's moods, how it affects people's days. You know, we have people that say our music affected them positively, and even if it's 1 or 2 people that ever hit us up about that, we know, stick to the course, stick to the message, stick to the same purpose, because we're affecting people beautifully, and I love what we're doing, you know.
A Kingston Story, Come From Far, and New Kingston's 4th studio album will be available on Friday, August the 25th, courtesy of Easy Star Records. Go out, purchase a copy, and look out for them performing in a town or city near you soon. Guys, I wish you continued success, and thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank you, man. Big up.
Bless up. Mud.
Gibbo presents